blame others and you'll never succeed. It's a fact that's holding you back. So let's find out how to fail like a boss and still come out on top. Hey there, my name is Isai Rodriguez and I'm your friend. And this is where we build your leadership skills in your home business profits, one actionable tip at a time. So hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and let's get started. So today we're diving into a topic that everyone experiences, but nobody likes to talk about. We're going to be diving into failure. It's the big F word in the world of business, all right? But don't worry, because by the end of this episode, you'll learn how to fail like a boss and how to come out on top. All, with failures and all. That's the goal. So let's cut to the chase here, because we've all been there, right? We've all failed in the past. And if you haven't, then please give me a call. I'd love to know your secret, all right? But we've all been there, right? At one point or another, you launch a new product and it flops. You pitch to a potential client and they ghost you, right? It really, really sucks for sure, But guess what? It happens to everyone, right? The real question is not why it happens. The real question is, how do you handle it? Or how are you handling it? Better said, right? Do you point fingers and blame others, or do you own up to it and learn from it? Think about that. Because today we're going to focus on why you should always be the first to take responsibility when things go wrong for your team, right? And trust me, it's not just about, being a good person. This is about being a smart business leader, right? So the next time that you experience a failure or a setback, I want you to stop and ask yourself, right? Stop asking yourself who messed up, right? You have to get rid of that mindset, get rid of that train of thought, remove it from your mindset, right? Instead, what you should be asking yourself is, why did this happen? Why did this failure, this setback happen? And so let's break down. Let's break this down with a list of questions that'll help you to figure out what went wrong and how to do better the next time, right? In fact, one of my mentors has this great set of questions for this very scenario. If you're the note-taking type, then you might want to write these down, right? These are the questions that I got straight from my mentor, right? These questions, they're great. I mean, I've used them in the past and they help me to gain clarity as to what the problem is, where it lies, and how to get better, right? So the first question is, what lessons have I learned? Ask yourself that. What lessons have I learned? What this thing that just happened, what can I learn from it? The second is, am I grateful for this experience? Because that's a huge one, right? You should always be grateful, because even if even if it's a failure, a setback, be grateful for that learning experience. The more you have, the faster you're going to learn, right? The next question, how can I turn this failure into success? Great question. This is reframing your mindset and retraining yourself to see those failures as learning blocks. Like, what can I learn from this, this failure? How can I turn this failure into a success? The next one is, where do I go from here? Right? This goes along with that last question. It's kind of you have this failure, you're turning it into a positive. And then it's like, where do I go from here now? Right? The next question, who else has failed in this same way before? And how can they help me? This is the solution seeking part of being a leader, right? You should always be looking for solutions rather than just pointing fingers or just pointing out the obvious, right? Everybody can see and view a problem and be like, hey, look, there's a problem, right? But a true leader sees the problem, evaluates the problem, and then comes up with solutions for that problem, right? The next question, how can my experience help others avoid this failure? This goes to the root of being a leader. What you learn from those experiences, from these failures, these learning lessons, you want to share those lessons with your team, with colleagues, so that you can all benefit from those same lessons, right? So that other people aren't making the same mistakes that you're making, right? Wouldn't that be great if you, before you encounter a specific scenario, situation, wouldn't it be awesome if someone else had gone through that, failed, learned from that failure, and then told you how to not do the same thing that they did, right? The next question, did I fail because of another person, my situation, or myself? This is a deep question. This one you have to really, you really have to throw your ego aside. Get rid of that ego. Your ego is not your amigo, right? Said it before. Is this problem, is this failure, like, did it happen because of another person? Was that other person truly to blame? Was it my situation that was to blame? Was it me, myself? Which part of this equation needs to be fixed, right? That's a little introspection for you. The next question, did I actually fail, or did I fall short of an unrealistically high standard? I don't think there's anybody more guilty, I would say, of setting unrealistically high standards for themselves than me. I am sure people out there will argue me, but from what I can tell, because I didn't know how to set goals, right? I'm setting, like, I have this, like, I know where I want to go, and I'm like, all right, this is where I want to be. But I never set those little stepping stone goals, like there, then here, then here, that, to get to my ultimate goal. I was just always like, this is the goal, that's where I'm going. And I would fall and fail all the way down here. You see what I'm saying? So did I actually fail, or did I fall short on, because of some unrealistically high standards that I set for myself? Next question, where did I succeed as well as fail? This one is it's another one of those introspection type of questions where you're digging deep down inside yourself to really understand, where is it that I failed, or did I succeed, right? Because it goes both ways, right? So these questions, there you go, man. These are some awesome questions that, they aren't just for your journal, like for you to write down, or for some self-help seminar or anything like that. These are practical tools that you can use to turn your screw-ups, your mistakes, your failures, your setbacks into stepping stones, right? Does that make sense? Now, let's talk about why blaming others, and let me just say that blaming others is a dead-end street, right? You see, when you blame others for your failures, you're basically handing over control of your success to someone else. You're literally saying that, hey, my success depends on them getting it right, not me. You know what I mean? And that, my friends, right there is a recipe for disaster. And let me say that at one point, again, this was me, right? Something would go wrong either at work or in my business. And real quick, I'd be blaming my circumstances. I'd blame my upline. I'd blame my coworker. I'd blame I'd blame everybody in every circumstance, every situation. I would blame but myself. You feel me? And here's what I learned is that to reach your full potential, to reach your true potential, you've got to continually improve yourself. And you can't do that if you're always busy pointing if you're always busy pointing fingers at everybody else, at every situation. If you're always there like, that's wrong and this is wrong and that person screwed me over and this other, does that make sense? Like, you're never going to get anywhere if you're always pointing fingers, if you're always pointing out failures and setbacks and not owning up to it, owning up to those setbacks and then learning from them, right? So let's imagine that, you're leading a team and something goes wrong, right? Work with me here, right? Instead of playing the blame game, you step up and say, this one's on me, right? Here's what I think went wrong, and here's how we can fix it. What do you think is going to happen if you approach problems like that, right? I'll tell you what's going to happen. Your team's going to respect you more, right? That they're going to trust you more. And they're going to more than likely, they're going to step up and take responsibility themselves for what they do, for the failures that they make. Because again, your team, they're not going to do what you tell them to do, right? They're going to do what they see you doing, right? Does that make sense? So, and here's the kicker is that it's not just about your team, right? It's about you too. It's about you leading that team. When you take responsibility for your mistakes, you're taking control of your growth. Does that make sense? You're saying to yourself and to the world in general, like you're saying, hey, I'm in charge of my success and I'm going to learn and I'm going to get better from this mistake, from this failure, right? So the next time that you fail, and trust me, you will fail, right? Don't ask who's to blame. Ask yourself, why did this happen and what can I learn from it? All right? That right there, that's how you fail like a boss and still come out on top. All right? So there you have it, my friends. That's my tip for today. If you found, if you found some value in this episode, if you found it inspiring, helpful, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. And if you have any questions, any topics that you'd like to cover, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. And also, don't forget to follow the link in the description for access for my free masterclass training, where I'll show you firsthand how to put all of these tips into action for yourself today and start becoming successful in your own business journey today. Until the next time, I want you to stay legendary, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Take care now. Bye.